what's my plan when it comes to ICP, even though nothing I say is financial advice? Because with the recent slight pullback that we see when it comes to ICP, a lot of people are telling me, oh, what's your plan now? Take a look at ICP. Not too long ago, it was around $9. Now it's, around $7. Totally aware of that, but considering how not too long ago it was actually slightly below $3, I mean, even if, let's say, ICP for whatever reason, I'm not saying this is going to be the case, but I'm saying in a make-believe scenario, if let's say even has a pullback to like $5 or something like that, like I still wouldn't be disappointed at all considering how at least it's not below $3, However, if it does ever even hypothetically go below $3 ever again, I'm still going to stay the course. I'm still going to be dollar cost averaging. And I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but this is personally my perspective because I'm totally aware that, again, this slight pullback, of course, it's not such a good feeling, I suppose, but at the same time, considering what ICP was able to do, have that slight recovery, considering while other projects out there really didn't do much at all, actually, a lot of them actually started going down, and even in some cases having even a more of a pullback, right? But then ICP had that pretty okay recovery. So, yeah, I'm not going to be disappointed. That's the way to take a look at it. But my plan overall is to really just stay the course for me. What do I mean by that? It is simply just staying patient because that's the only thing I can do, waiting, dollar cost averaging, and that's it. Because at a time where the altcoin space isn't doing the best, at a time where, let's say, a project has a pullback, I just focus on what the project is trying to do, right? I'm not trying to focus on the price every 5 minutes because, quite frankly, I have no control over that. That's beyond me. The only thing I can do is literally just stay patient and just, research about a project. If I like it fundamentally, then I dollar cost average into it, and that's pretty much about it. But then what caused me to kind of, look into the internet computer? Well, it's because when I take a look at just kind of the whole vibe overall when it comes to the internet computer and what Dfinity is doing, I just feel like it's a little bit different in terms of the vibe and the energy because while other projects out there gave up, I feel like Dfinity is still doing things. Like, for instance, if I want to just talk about something that they didn't even really have to do, right? Like, for instance, the Solana and ICP integration. Like, who was asking for that? Like, a lot of my friends that I know that hold ICP, they're not asking for that at all. But then, the Solana and ICP integration, that's pretty impressive. Like, they didn't have to do that again. So then my perspective is that Dfinity seems to be putting effort. Like, they seem to want to improve without really even much of a demand to do so, right? Because when I was first believing in the internet computer, I feel like fundamentally it was nowhere as good as it is today. Now, some people may be thinking, oh, why would you say that? Well, when I first believed in the internet computer, was there such thing even of a talks of like, caffeine AI? No. Also, when I first talked about, the internet computer, or should I say when I first started getting into it, right? Did I know much about what it was trying to focus on when it comes to decentralized AI? No. So if I think about it, kind of the two biggest things that the internet computer is kind of known for right now, again, caffeine AI, and also as well as, decentralized AI, it wasn't really talked about at all back then because how can I talk about it? I didn't even know what it was back then, So I feel like when it comes to Dfinity and as well as the internet computer, it's come a long way, fundamentally. Now, in terms of the price, it's a different case because not too long ago, above $18, right? But then now it's, granted, had a pretty okay recovery, but still around that $7 range. Not too long ago, it was around that $9 range. Totally aware of that. But still at the same time, fundamentally, I feel like it's come a long way. The internet computer, or should I say ICP, has kind of proven historically that it did kind of go along with the ride during times when the altcoin space was doing better than right now, even though I don't think that was an altcoin season not too long ago. But still, ICP was around that $18 range, and keep in mind, other projects out there, they didn't really do much, despite having these amazing fundamentals or something like that. So I find that pretty impressive when it comes to ICP. At least it kind of showcased some attention back then. What will it mean moving forward? I can't know 100% for sure, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if, let's say, I did see kind of a moment like that because I just seen it historically. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to happen again because historical performance doesn't mean that it's going to happen like that in the future. But it just wouldn't surprise me considering just the community when it comes to the internet computer, considering the amount of holders. I still find it pretty impressive. And really, I mean, when it comes to altcoins, I understand that sometimes there's going to be this roller coaster type of movement the way you take a look at it. There's going to be sometimes when it does okay. There's sometimes when it's not going to do okay. But I kind of knew that getting into it. So that is why when I dollar cost average, I just literally focus on the project and that's it. I mean, whatever happens to the price, like in the short to medium term, it's going to be sometimes very just random, it feels like, because sometimes it's going to do this or do that. Like, for instance, I think a lot of people could probably agree that what ICP did just very recently is not that expected, right? Because let's face it, altcoins generally speaking weren't doing the best. And yes, caffeine AI was kind of talked about, but then was it really such a big topic, generally speaking, outside of their computer? I don't think so. But then suddenly ICP had that recovery. So again, sometimes the movements can be a little bit, random, the way you take a look at it. Like, again, not many of my friends thought that was going to happen. I didn't think that was going to happen at that moment as well. I thought, you know what? Okay, I'm going to have to wait longer, but then it did that. And I think that, if anything, also showcases to me that, I have no control over this, right? The only thing I can do is just prepare and just wait. Because if I'm preparing for a moment, and let's say there is a moment, it's kind of like hypothetically going along with the ride without having to try to find the perfect moment. So that's what I do, and that's what I've been doing throughout this whole time when it comes to the internet computer. Whenever the internet computer is going to have that next leg up, if it ever even does do so, there's only one thing I know to do, and that is just hold and control myself, and that's pretty much about it. I'm just staying patient. I mean, again, when it comes to whenever the market is going to do this or do that, I have no control over that, but at the same time, when I take a look at just kind of the whole vibe overall, when it comes to internet computer, I still like it. Sure, some people like to say, oh, why aren't they doing more things fundamentally? Well, here's the thing. For a project, let's say, right, to kind of release things every single week like that consistently, it's not that easy. Like, major partnerships, sometimes new things that they do, it's not that easy to just keep doing it every single week. So when I take a look at Dfinity so far, they've been doing pretty okay in terms of, like, when I take a look at the aspects surrounding Caffeine AI, Solana and ICP integration, all this type of stuff, also Bitcoin DeFi, supposedly being powered by the internet computer. So they've been doing some things, right? I mean, it's not like they're not doing anything, but it doesn't necessarily mean that one's going to happen like every week like that. So I kind of know that, but generally speaking, when I take a look at the track record of the internet computer, and when I take a look at Dfinity, I am not, disappointed, I would say. And sure, now 100 is around a 13x from here, and the market cap at that point, considering current circulating supply, would be around 54 billion. But, to me, it's a lot better than seeing it hypothetically not too long ago when it was like, around over a 30x, which is kind of showcased how low ICP was. But then again, like I mentioned in my previous videos, I thought that, if ICP was going to recover, I thought there's probably going to be hypothetically some sort of ceiling. Now, what that ceiling will be exactly, who knows? As of right now, it seems like it's around that $9 range, right? But who knows? But to me, I think hypothetically for that really next leg up, there should probably be an altcoin season because, again, there's probably going to be a limit to what ICP could do, I think, with an altcoin season. But at the same time, all I can do is stay patient. But nonetheless, my plan as of right now is just do what I've been doing, dollar cost averaging and staying patient. And that's pretty much about it. And I want to say thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I hope y'all have a nice day. It's Willie the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.